Welcome, welcome. All right. Happy Facebook Thursday.
And happy birthday, Judah, I think you mean?
Happy birthday. Happiest of birthdays to Judah.
I mean, like, I wasn't going to do this, now that you just kind of threw it out there, I figured we would get some eyeballs on the show before I really, hammed it up and everything. But since you brought it up, I have a little surprise for you. Ready?
We've gathered here today. Today's your special day. It's your birthday, birthday, birthday. Yes, you.
Now, Judah, I was looking for a picture of you, for like a recent photo of you, and everything I have, you look so stinking young. You look like you're, 15 and you're probably 20 at the time. So I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm throwing in the photo of you, like what, 5?
Yeah. I was very young at that time. I'm one of 6 kids, and that was a picture of all of us. That is absolutely hilarious. Thank you, my friend. It was absolutely great. Hey, so we are here today. This is the Build and Grow with Real Estate show.
Nailed it.
We are, yeah, exactly. I got it right today. The whole goal here is to talk about active real estate investing, taking action, moving forward, not just learning, not just talking about stuff, not just doing a bunch of blog posts and bigger pockets and stuff like that, but we actually want to help people take action and seize the day in their real estate investing career. My name is Judah Hoover. I am an executive with a property management company and a full-time real estate agent. I'm with Slate House Group. We are a modern real estate company. We service, we have 4,000 units that we manage in about 4 states. And if you're looking to buy or sell anything on a personal level or on an investment level, we would love to talk with you. If you're looking to have anything managed, we would love to talk with you as well. My co-host is Josh Weidman. Josh, tell us about yourself.
What's going on, guys? So I've been investing in real estate since 2006. I'm a hard money lender located right here in central Pennsylvania. We loan in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and DC. And we are a direct lender, which means that we can process your application on the same day that you contact us, get you an approval, get you a pre-approval. And we can fund it within 24 hours, so long as title work is ready. We fund it on the same day that we've originated loans in the past. It's not, it's kind of a unique situation, but we've done it. So if you're looking for funding for your next project, give me a call. You can go to our website, hardmoneybankers.com, or give me a ring at 717-213-8488. Now, today we have a special guest, Anthony Moore here. Anthony is just finishing up his first year in real estate, and to be honest, it's 9 months of investing in a 12-month period because of this COVID shutdown. But Anthony, welcome to the show, man. Tell us a little bit.
Thank you guys again for having me, man. I like to watch your show. You guys offer some really good content, man. So kudos to what you guys are doing. I appreciate it.
Hey, our pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, it is great to have you. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, Josh and I talk about actionable real estate information and knowledge on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting off with about 3 to 5 minutes of current event and news in the real estate industry and realtor information. On Thursdays, we have a guest that is applicable to the topic that we've been talking about, and on Friday, we do kind of a news wrap up, deep dive into news stories, what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the world, specifically as it relates to real estate lending, being a realtor, that kind of thing. So Anthony Moore is somebody who is just getting started. I thought that he'd be an awesome person to have on because of that. I met Anthony because we attend a lot of the same real estate investment groups. And after meeting him 2 or 3 times, over there at the York Real Estate Investor Group, run by my good friend Harry Nail, we decided to get together and had lunch, and it's been a It's been a great beginning of a friendship. We've known each other for about a year now. I call him my brother from another mother with the same heavenly Father.
That's
And,
it.
we have a whole lot in common, and I think he's a really cool dude. Anthony comes to real estate. He's got a systems engineering background from North Carolina.
North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So, and he also, you only played college ball, right? You didn't play professional or anything like that.
Right. Yep. I just played college D1 ball. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
And then he was in the manufacturing business for a long time. So, head of operations, ran plants for Alcoa and did all other kinds of cool stuff like that. Did some consulting with that. And about a year ago, decided to get into real estate. And I guess that's the first question, Anthony. And now you've done about 8 transactions, and we'll talk about all that. But I guess the first question I would have for you, Anthony, is why real estate? What made you want to get started in real estate, and how did you kind of get started on your real estate journey?
Yeah, man. So the seed for real estate was planted literally back when I was in grad school at North Carolina A&T. So I went to one of those meetups, and it was like they introduced another opportunity to go for another class. So pay some money, go to that class, and if you wanted to progress, obviously it costs a little bit more. At the time, broke college student, didn't really have it. But some of the things I learned in that particular class, like kind of planted the seed. So I always had the interest, but I had all the excuses, right? I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time to do it. I don't have enough knowledge. So that fear and uncertainty of really wanting to take that step. So fast forward to January 2019. I came to work back on the new year and realized that, the organization I was with, I was VP of operations, decided to restructure and no longer needed my services. So at that point, I pretty much just been programmed like most folks. If you want to succeed in life, you make good grades, you go to college, you get a job, you work with somebody, hopefully they treat you good. Maybe you move around a little bit and maybe you can retire from that company, right? So once I got let go, my programming was, let me go immediately find, another, executive level position and do that. But, it was just more like God was just talking to me, like, slow down, like quit trying to make your moves right now. Slow down, just like, take some time and think about what it is you actually want to do. So as I kind of, said previously, that seed for real estate was there. And now I didn't have the excuses, right? I had plenty of time, right? Even though I was working, making good money, I lived for the most part like a broke college student. So I just kind of just stacked in retirement funds, brokerage accounts, savings accounts. So I did have, a nice little sizable, nest egg to play around with. And so, the decision was made, let's go into real estate, because I read a lot of books. And so the folks that I admire and look up to, either got their start in real estate, either made their millions in real estate, or they made their money in, multiple different streams, but they park it in real estate. You know what I mean? So, that initially is what made me decide, hey, this is what I want to go towards. And so I went all in.
Anthony, I got a quick question for you. Systems engineering is a pretty interesting transition from that to real estate. What did you take from your profession as a systems engineer? And were there some things that were easy transitions, things that were a little bit more difficult? As you made that transition, what was it that you saw that kind of connected the dots, and what was like completely different?
Man, that's a phenomenal question, because the things that really helped me from an engineering perspective also hurt me in a sense. So, and I'll explain. So, from a engineering perspective, the one thing that you're trained on, and literally when you're building systems or you're running manufacturing plants, time is money. So you always want to be as efficient as possible. Mm-hmm. And even when I used to manage maintenance, right? When you manage maintenance for a $1 billion per year in sales juggernaut, when you got to take a machine down for a period of time, you got a lot of visibility and a lot of attention on you to make sure that things go as planned. So
you don't just take it apart and say, we'll see what happens.
Man, look, you'll get the guillotine coming down on your neck. You know what I mean? But so, like, you know, from an engineering perspective, I always wanted to map out, you know, best case, worst case scenarios. Want to have all contingencies in place. I'd like to know steps at least A through K before I even get started. You know what I mean? To understand, you know, to make sure that we minimize any possibility of failure. Now, that's the same analysis and attention and detail I brought into real estate that also created a problem for me because, you know, obviously real estate is what I'm learning is a numbers game. You know, you can't spend too much time analyzing a particular deal, which a wise man named Judah actually kind of schooled me on at lunch one day. So literally the old phrase analysis paralysis, I had a deal that literally fell into my lap, literally right around the corner from me that I explained to Judah what it was one day at lunch. You know, it was a deal that I thought I could flip, but there wasn't enough margin in it. You know, I introduced the idea of a subject to, but didn't know a lot about it. And there was a lot of things that contingencies, right? From an engineering perspective, what can go wrong? And so I pretty much analyzed myself into a state of paralysis, almost to the point where I was ready to back out of a deal. And that's when, you know, Judah was like, man, dude, you got a subject to, like, come on. Like, you know, like, what's the worst that could happen? You know, you might lose 12,000, but you learned a lot of lessons. But long story short, I didn't lose anything, and it's a very lucrative deal. But to your point, Josh, man, the same things that really helped me be, you know, and I don't want to brag, but a phenomenal engineer and a great executive in the corporate world, you know, helped, but also somewhat hindered, you know, my start in real estate.
Well,
I don't want to listen. This is not me bragging on myself. I do enough of that. But let's just drill down on this for a second, because it's one of the 10 points that we talked about: the importance of having a coach, a mentor, or just a friend, an accountability partner looking over something. We sat down for lunch, and you had 3 good deals, and you were ready to walk from all of them because you couldn't see perfectly how they were going to go A through K. And I said, listen, you have the first 3 steps in all of these. You know, and if you get to here, do this, if you get to here, do that. And you just have to know your plan for each way that it could go, not that it definitely will go each of those ways. And of those 3 deals, how many of you now taken action on, and how many of them have been profitable for you?
All 3.
Right. Yeah, that's all. Well, so I come from an engineering background. I have 3.5 years of engineering education before I went a separate way. But I mean, it's really 2 different worlds where you have, you know, you always are looking for the executable next step.
Right. Yeah.
With real estate, it's like you've got the next step, but it's like jump from chaos to chaos to chaos, and find that path to, you know, the path of least resistance to get to the end. And it can be difficult because you really can get stuck. You get stuck like, well, what are they going to say if I tell them this? What are they going to do?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
And that was the struggle for me. It was like, you know, again, I've been more so in engineering than in sales, right? So I've always been like, you know, the sales guys, you go bring the orders in, I'll figure out how to make sure we get them executed and get them shipped properly. You know what I mean? And so now, you know, and at heart, like, you know, I know a lot of people are surprised to hear, but I'm really, really, really introverted. You know what I mean? Like, I can react, I can interact well in any group. I'm like a chameleon, but my natural state is kind of introvert. So, like, you know, to your point, I don't necessarily like to have a lot of conversation. I really like to jump right into what I'm trying to do. And I want to make sure that, you know, as I'm moving, the next logical step is there. And in real estate, like you said, Josh, sometimes it's just, you gotta go and then rely a lot on faith and just understand that whatever happens, you can actually manage through it.
Right. That's critical. You know, listen, love him or hate him. Donald Rumsfeld said, you know, sometimes you have to go to war with the army you have, not the army that you wish you had. And that's very common how real estate works. as well. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if that's my fault or not. But you just have to take action and figure it out. As I've mentioned on the show before, my Uncle Mitch got me started in real estate when I was at a very similar place to where Anthony was when I got him nudged forward, and has now done 8 very profitable deals his first year in real estate. My Uncle Mitch said to me, Judah, it's easier to steer a moving car. You just have to not do a bad deal, show your deal to your friends and everything like that, but you're not definitely set up for failure. But if there's a reasonable likelihood of success, just take action and figure it out as you go. And sometimes investors or sometimes engineers, they won't take any action unless they know it's going to be perfect. And salespeople come at it from the other problem where they just move forward no matter whether it's a good deal or not, and you can make a good deal out of it. And sometimes you actually can't make a good deal out of it. So it's by working together with other people. Eric Brewer talked about that when we had him on a week or two ago. He said his business skyrocketed as soon as he started hiring for his weaknesses, as soon as he started hiring for his own personal deficiencies. And one of the things that you have to do when you get started is surround yourself by a great group of people. What better example to hold up than Lincoln right now with everything that we have going on in our nation? And Lincoln very famously had a team of rivals, it was called. His cabinet members all hated each other. And all didn't like him. Now that's strong, I'm sure, but it was the equivalent of him having a bunch of conservatives and liberals and Democrats and Republicans and everything like that on his cabinet, because that way they could fight amongst themselves and come up with the best ideas. And when you're building a business, that's really what you have to do. So Anthony, tell us, what have you done for marketing? What kind of has been your favorite marketing strategy? What has been kind of your favorite type of deal? And just tell us a little bit, kind of an overview of these 8 deals you've done so far.
Yeah, man. So I'll tell you what, I invested money into building these Carrot websites, right? So Carrot was investor friendly websites for lead generation, things of that sort. So I went that way. I tried a couple of Facebook ads when I first started out. And what I realized is man, I'm just going too broad and not deep enough in any particular,
That's one of the things we talked about. Pick one thing and focus on it. That's great.
Right, exactly. I tried bandit signs. Yeah, man, look, I not only listen to you, man, I follow through, man. When I hear stuff like that, I guess that's the biggest deal. The difference is a lot of people, and before, even Josh, you mentioned earlier, I would grasp so much information from so many different sources, and I would just kind of collect information, which I just realized later was a form of procrastination, right? Because I had a fear, and I figured if I could overcome that fear with information, it would jolt me into action. But the most effective marketing technique, not even the bandit signs, not even the Facebook marketing, the social media, it has come from referrals, man. So literally. The 2 properties I started with, the 2 deals right here in my neighborhood, literally one's right here I'm looking at, one around the corner that takes me a minute and a half to walk through. Out of those 2 deals, posting the progress and the journey on Facebook, a neighbor who's become a good friend kind of saw that and said, hey, would you kind of look at our parents' property up in New Oxford? And I'm like, okay. So ended up going up there, having yet another phenomenally profitable deal. And not only that, I got to tell you this, guy, this is interesting, right? So, we did that deal. It's working out very well for us. And Curtis, slide over here, man. So not only, this is the package deal, okay? So not only from my neighbors that saw, and he's doing the first 2 properties, got another 3rd property from their parents. Now I get access to their son who's home from University of Kentucky. That's who wants to be a hedge fund manager at some point, nice, and an investment banker. And he's looking at his internship plans kind of got nixed because of COVID. And so she kind of reached out to me, and now this guy's here. So it's been a package deal, man. So referrals have been phenomenal. The house we're working on right now on Bergman Street down in York came from another referral. That one property, Judah, that I told you that was up in Hanover Township that I actually found by divine mistake. Literally had this property, Josh, for a year, okay, trying to wholesale, because initially that's all I knew was wholesaling. But then as time has progressed and, a download of new information came, I ended up buying this property through my self-directed IRA for $65,000. We had a BPO on it. The BPO came back between 220 and 250.
The broker's price opinion, by the way.
Yes.
That's like a realtor saying what they think the value is. It's not quite as official as an appraisal, but it's a high level, other highly sought after professional opinion of what a value is worth.
Right. Now I normally try not to use the acronym. So
no, that's fine. That's fine. Keep on rocking and rolling, dude.
Yeah. And so literally I bought this property that has a BPO between 220 and 250, bought it for $65,000. Now also, really and truly, I bought it for 50, but wholesaled it for 15,000. But that's another story. So anyway, I was able to put $15,000 in my pocket, today's money, take a property that, all in at 65,000, owner finance it to, a family who couldn't qualify for traditional lending for 143. And I'm holding that note for 30 years at 6.8% interest. So
in your self-directed IRA.
In my self-directed IRA. So the first deal that was such a pain in my butt that I could not get rid of, it was really, God causing a divine halt and prevented people from purchasing to, my knowledge level and my experience and my confidence level caught up with what he really had planned for that property, man. So now it's like,
you wholesaled that property from Anthony Moore to Anthony Moore's self-directed IRA?
Anthony Moore had nothing to do with it because that would technically be illegal in commingling of funds, Judah.
Right.
So, but there was someone else that had interest in that property, and they happened to contract that property to purchase it. But then when they wholesaled it to my IRA, they technically owed me money for a different venture, and they were able to pay me the money that they owed for that particular venture.
That is some, dude. The student becomes the master.
I gotta tell you, wait, this is humongous. So let's talk about this a minute. You get this property, you go from wholesale and 2 deals next door to you. You get referred to this other property. You can't move it. You get this other property, 65 grand. So you go from like entry level wholesaling with 2 properties assigned to like master's level course, self-directed IRA, wraparound wholesale deal, creative financing. I mean, that's some heavy.
I have a question. What did you let's talk about the subject too. So you sold it with seller financing in your self-directed IRA to this young couple at what is the principal balance of that note?
Well, I think you might be confusing the two. So the one up in Hanover Township, up near Scranton, that's the one that I purchased with the IRA and then sold it on owner finance and holding the mortgage. The one here.
Stop. Let me ask you a question about that.
Yeah.
Bought it for how much cash in your IRA?
Between the $15,000 wholesale fee and the $50,000 actual purchase price, $65,000.
Okay, so you bought it for $65,000. And then you did seller financing to the young couple for how much?
$143,000.
Dude.
Huge.
I mean, look at the value, and not only that, you're also getting interest on that. That is a ridiculous deal, dude.
Yeah, that was my my Mona Lisa right there, man. Like that is that's the best deal I've done so far.
That's 17% interest every year into your IRA.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So to put it in layman's terms, basically, I'm turning a $65,000 investment. If she holds it in for 30 years in the note, which I think she wants to because she recognizes that with her current credit situation, she really couldn't do any better. That $65,000 investment will turn into $342,000 over 30 years to do nothing. The best part about it is, like, I don't have to do any upkeep, renovations, or anything to that property.
I mean, on paper, yes. I mean, but you still want them to call you if there's anything. I always tell them, call me if something over $5,000 goes wrong, so that we can, address it and whatever. Because you've got, if you look at it, you've got a $250,000 upside that you have to protect.
Maintain and manage. Yeah.
All right. So listen. So this is awesome. What I love is you've focused on, subject to. As the type of deals that most of your deals are. You've also focused on, seller financing or, rent to own type situations. You do a little bit of work to create value in some of your deals. So it's almost like, you've done 8 deals, but some of those deals actually count as 2 because there's like a rehab flip into a seller financing. And you've developed a really great referral network. And here's the thing about building referrals and networking and everything like that. The real estate investing industry is a non-linear work, equation. It's work, get a little check. Work, get a smaller check. Why does that work like that? Work, get a check. Work, get a check. Work, get a check. Get a check, get a check, get a check, get a check. Whereas what we're used to doing in our day jobs is work, get a check, work, get a check, work, get a check.
Yes.
And so if you're willing to front load the work like you did, all kinds of networking, all kinds of bridge building, all kinds of everything like that, you've now got this monster that just sits there and poops out deals for you. And that's absolutely awesome. I also love how authentic you are on Facebook. You're not trying to, lean up against a Lamborghini and claim to have it all or anything like that. You do very little bragging about your numbers. I've seen even you and your dad out there working on properties. You swing a hammer yourself. I mean, you're crazy. I always say people say they work on houses for therapy. I say anybody who works on houses needs therapy. So, I get it.
That might be true, man. That might be true.
So you're doing all these things, but listen, with the last 3 to 5 minutes here, you also have a desire to give back. And the reason this is important is for 2 reasons. You're being charitable separate from your business. It's hard to run a charity. It's hard to be in business. A lot of people try to do those 2 things together. And they're like, oh, I'm going to go easy on my tenants, or I'm going to sell my properties under value or whatever. You want to have a highly profitable business, but you're also trying to give back to society and culture and your community. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing to give back right now.
So I have a couple of donors who are interested in partnering and putting some money behind some of the philanthropic activities I have. But my thing is I've been very blessed and fortunate, man, to have lots of opportunities, have a lot of people pour into me. And I think it really started with having a stable home environment, right? And so when I look at the issues here in York, and not only that, but even in Harrisburg and some other areas in central PA, when I look at, where the crime rate is, it's because there's no stability at home, right? You've got folks who are constantly being evicted, going from home to home. You got people who are underemployed, who are having to go out and do illicit activities in order to make a living for their family. And when these kids are seeing that, it traumatizes them, and the effects are not felt until later down in life, right? And so what my program is going to be doing is aiming at financial literacy training for families and individuals who are in these affordable housing type scenarios to prepare them for home ownership, right? Because I believe, there are certain activities, like even, in the Black community, you got people who sell drugs and do different things, but they know, do not go to Miss So-and-so house and do that crap, because she gonna come out with the bat, she gonna bust you up, or she gonna call the cops, you know what I mean? But in general, and not knocking anybody that's renting at all, but in general, people take a little more care and a little more upkeep around, properties that they own, right? So the whole idea is to train people on how to manage their finances so they can, when we put them in a house, they can stay there, and also creating a fund that can help, I'm not focusing just on minorities, but, that is, unfortunately.
That's fine. You're allowed to focus on minorities.
I can focus on whoever I want to focus on, but I'm just saying,
brother.
The thing is, I'm not one that's going to just focus on, okay, you're Black, you're brown, you're who I'm focused on. But there are people who cannot qualify for traditional lending, which is why in my business, I try to find those who have had credit or financial hardships in the past, put them in a position where they can provide a path to home ownership, and lease to own or owner finance while they get their stuff together so they can actually purchase the property. So all that to say, there's three things initially, running this financial literacy training, helping people transition from affordable housing into home ownership, and then providing, lending to those folks so that, they can get into those homes and eventually stay, whether I sell the note at that point or not. But my whole purpose is training you so when you get into these homes, you can actually stay. You know what I mean?
So capitalism has led to charity and giving back.
Yeah.
Being a successful business person has led to your ability to positively impact the community.
Exactly, man. I've been asked to be on.
And Josh, here's what I love about this, man. People ask us all the time, why are we doing this free show? What do we get out of this? And how are you monetizing this? I got to tell you, Anthony was stuck and would not have taken action if it wasn't for my involvement. And he'll be the first to tell you that.
I'm telling you right now.
And I can't take credit for everything that Anthony's done, but I can take a 2% credit for that. You know what I mean? Maybe 10%.
More than that.
All right, cool. I appreciate that. Here's the deal.
You better watch it. He's going to ask you for a check. If you tell him more,
get successful so that you can give back, and get successful in real estate so that you can help other people so that they're giving back. You also get partial credit for. This is like the network marketing of good. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about Anthony's story is he's going to be giving back and changing society, and everybody that he affects. I have a small piece of that. That's more than money can buy. And that's why I want people to be successful so that they can also just continue that exponential growth of doing good, because it doesn't take any one of us to radically change the world. It takes all of us doing just a little bit to say, okay, how can I give back? How can I get involved? What can I do? And Anthony, that's what I love about your story. Also, you're getting involved by rolling up your sleeves, Anthony, and actually mentoring these kids, actually telling people what to do with their credit. You're not saying, well, I've only done 8 deals. Once I've done 80 deals, I'll just write $1 million check to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Yeah. You're actually doing the hard work now of getting involved, and you are absolutely to be commended for that, my friend.
Man, thank you, brother. It came quickly, man. I guess I'm starting to develop a little bit of a social media presence. So I get a lot of folks across the country, dropping in my DMs or wanting to schedule Zoom calls. So I've helped people structure deals all over the place. And now it's it took it up so much time. I was like, okay, guys, I can't continue to just give it free. If you want to do a 50-50 JV, I'll be happy to do the heavy lifting for you and get you situated for progress. But, now that, I've got so many things, my board is filled back here with various opportunities in the pipeline. It's like, I want to help.
I love coming over to your house and seeing, because every time we get together now, and we haven't 3 months, this COVID thing's been awful. We got to get together again, dude. You've always got, you're such an engineer because you've got that whiteboard behind you, and it's what deals you're working on, what marketing you're putting together, how you're planning out your day and everything like that. I think it's great, man.
Man, look, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I think that the other, yeah, go ahead.
How, if somebody wants to donate to your charity or they want to get involved or help you or whatever, how do they get in touch with you? Let's start with the charity and then we can talk about your business. Is that cool?
Absolutely, man. So I created Judah, don't get the big head, man. I see it already inflating. But I created a business portfolio or investor portfolio so I could share with folks to show, hey, this is what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. So I've been kind of raising private capital now because we have several, projects back here on the board, and I've had several families that are ready to, find a lease to own or owner finance scenario. But for right now, for anybody who wants to either donate, you can reach out to Anthony Moore at theedenmandate@gmail.com. For those who are not feeling all that philanthropic and just want to make a good investment and want to get, a good return on their money, they can also reach out to me. Phone number 717-850-3557. I will then send.
Slow down. We're gonna get that on the scroll.
All right, 717.
I will send them a copy of the business portfolio, And that way they can thumb through and see the various deals and see how their money will be safe and secure and how they'll get their returns.
What's your number again? Give us that number again.
Oh, 717-850-3557.
850-3557. I'm going to put this up on the scroll here.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I get carried away sometimes, man.
Dude, I love it.
So also you mentioned something that I think is really critical, because there's a lot of people who are in your shoes, Anthony, who you can maybe bring some capital, maybe bring some connections, maybe just bring some mentoring and coaching. Because part of what I did when I helped you with those deals is I didn't just say they're good deals, go do them. I also told you maybe how to restructure them a little bit, and how to think about it. And those are now skills you have. So somebody could if somebody brought you a deal, you'd be willing to work out some type of split with them so that it's good for you and good for them. So people should call you, whether they're on their first, second, third, or 80th deal. You might be able to do something with them.
Absolutely, man. So like part of what I do, and anybody who wants to read this, you'll see, like, I'm always trying to create a win-win opportunity, right? I'm not one that just wants to, get all the juice for the squeeze and leave somebody with nothing, man. I want everybody to win, even my tenant buyers, my sellers. I want everybody to leave with the impression that, Anthony and Eden, man, they treated me right. So to your point, Judah, for those who, getting into the game or been in the game, I do offer, my skill set on how to analyze and make sure that deal is profitable for all parties. And absolutely, I'm happy to bring capital or expertise or analysis to any type of situation.
Awesome.
Love
Well,
it.
listen, we could talk all day. We need to have you on again to dive deeper into some of these things. I can't believe 30 minutes has come and gone that quick. Anthony, you're welcome anytime, and please like and share whenever you're with us. I want to give a special thank you, because I know I have some more family members watching today's show than what I normally do, because it's my birthday. I am, very blessed to have a great, loving, and supportive family, and I just thank them very much for that. We, on Friday, are going to be back here tomorrow at noon, and we are going to be talking about the news wrap-up of the day, of the week, and then starting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to be getting into another great topic, starting off with news of the day. And we try to keep these shows to 30 minutes a day. Check out the archives on the Real Estate Hackers community or Hard Money Bankers of Central Pennsylvania. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow with another great show.
See you tomorrow.
Right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Happy birthday, Judah.
Thanks.
See ya.